What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And today we're back to answer more questions from you guys in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. This is a newish channel. We've been posting videos here for a while, but we're moving everything to one channel, the Greater Wog channel. But we also have reviews of the Horus Heresy Primaris series, so definitely check that out.
That's right. But today we're going to continue on answering your questions with this question from...
I have one from GameX Media. What do newly created Space Marines or younger Space Marines think of the Emperor?
So that's a very interesting question because whenever you hear of the Emperor, he's always prefixed with God.
Yeah.
So humanity sees the Emperor as a God figure. He is the God Emperor. He is the one where when you die, your soul gets to bless him or gets blessed by him and you go into his army of the light. However, when it comes to the Space Marines, it's very tricky because a lot of the Space Marines were fighting alongside him during the Unification Wars, into the Great Crusade, into the Horus Heresy, and they know that the Emperor did not want to be seen as a god. However, that may not be the case in current editions of 40K.
It depends on the chapter too. So for example, well, to give you a quick, solid answer, Space Marines don't see the Emperor as a god. They see him as their grandfather, a very important figure who gave life to the Primarchs. The Primarchs give life to the Space Marines, so they owe their life to the Emperor, and they will die for the Emperor. Think of like super... MAGA dudes, who, the way they see Trump kind of thing, where it's almost like they're just get engulfed in his presence. But then when it comes to certain chapters like the Black Templars, they worship him as a god.
Oh yeah, 100%. Even when it's not like humanity, like the Mechanicus, they see him as their god, the Omnissiah. So it's like, it's very wishy-washy. There's a fine line between should I worship, should I not worship. But I feel like nowadays, more so, everybody's worshiping the Emperor. And it's not like the Space Marines that know the Emperor did not want to be worshipped. They're not trying to fight like the Black Templars. They're not trying to change their minds. They're just like, all right, whatever, dude.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Space Marines is that they have that kind of like very stoic nature of they know that they're going to meet people within the Imperium that are going to upset them, but they're going to deal with it. And I think that's probably what they feel like if... because the Salamanders are super into the Promethean cult, which is their whole little thing. If they meet a Black Templar, they don't fight each other. They kind of understand that, like, we're autonomous. You believe in that. We're here to do a job, and we're here to kill the heretic.
Right.
So there's that sense. Something else that you mentioned, though, that made me think, the way... So whenever you look at cinematic trailers of Space Marines getting ready and all that kind of stuff, a lot of candles, a lot of religious iconography, kind of worshiping the Emperor, or it could be interpreted as worshiping the Emperor as a god. There's cherubs and all that kind of stuff.
Hymns.
But however, I think that as we progress as a society, we're going to understand that religion does a really good job of I guess, creating habits that help the human mind, and you can be, what is it called when you're not religious?
Agnostic?
Agnostic. Well, that's you still believe in something, right?
Atheist?
Yeah. Well, you could still be. I don't think it's atheist, but you could still be. You can come. Oh, secular. You could still be a secular person and go to church and experience the church, experience the mass, and be touched by it in like a spiritual sense or like in an emotional sense without you actually being a believer. And I think that's what's happening with Space Marines. Like when you see them getting ready, they're getting ready in terms of a secular, like, I'm about to kill Xenos for the Imperium, for humanity, but they don't see him as like some god, even though there's legit war powers in 40K. So they should see him.
He has saints. He's able to resurrect things. Like, come on.
At what point do you just go like, okay, yeah, he's a god? But I guess it's the Emperor is one of the strongest psychers. So maybe that's the thing, right? A god would not have equals. Right. But then there's four chaos gods. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What is religion and what is godness? Next question.
This one is by Oh no, I missed it. There it is. Jack Sands 2. Are there any living saints that pray to the Omnissiah, such as Adeptus Mechanicus saints? Because all saints that I could remember are not.
Yeah, no, nothing in the lore, but you can create one.
True, because all sainthood stems from the Church of the Emperor.
Ministorum.
Yeah, and like they're usually all going to be the most important ones, at least that we know of, are like Saint Celestine, Saint Catherine, which are all sisters of battle.
Yeah, you also have to remember that there's a lot of autonomy within the different branch of humanity or of the Imperium. So the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Adeptus Ministorum do not, like, they exist in the same place, but they are not the same thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And for the Adeptus Mechanicus to start worshiping a saint, it bleeds into the Ministorum and gives them a power that they probably don't want. The Fabricator Generals, the Forge Worlds do not want their tech priests and their people worshiping something that they don't have control over.
Yeah, if anything, they'll just keep it to the whole praise the machine spirit, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, this machine from Mars actually is their saint. No, it's like they have multiple machine spirits that they continuously pray to.
But if you're building your own homebrew lore and you want to create some type of like entity that is being worshipped, understand that like on the giant like battleships and stuff like that, the core of the ship is worshipped as its own thing. Mm-hmm. So it is a god in the eyes, or it is something holy in the eyes of the Adeptus Mechanicus. So in that sense, you could even say a specific battle barge is the machine god's embodiment of a saint.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Which we see a little bit of that in like the Horus Heresy books, where like Titans are like the Emperor's will made manifest.
Yeah.
So it's like they like almost pray to it, or they see it as like a higher being.
Yeah. So you definitely have options if you want to create some type of like something to venerate for the Adeptus Mechanicus. There's so many things that they worship.
Mm-hmm.
A toaster, for example. Next question comes from Twist Jane. Chaos Xeno faction. How/what would you like it to be? Like Chaos Tau or Orc faction or a new minor Xeno faction?
Yeah, when it comes to chaos, I feel like the taint of chaos can pretty much affect everything. So the fact that we don't see more chaos Xenos is kind of wild. I know you've done series covering chaos orcs, such as Slaanesh orcs, Nurgle orcs, even Tyranids, Slaanesh Tyranids, and those do very well. So there is a huge fan base that wants to see these Xeno races become corrupted by the taint of chaos.
Yeah.
So I think one of the cool things that like we haven't seen yet, but would be cool to see corrupted by chaos, would be that of the squats.
Yeah.
The kin, because they're so new to the lore. They recently got added. And I feel like there's almost no lore on them that's new. Usually it's all like lore from like 20 years ago. So maybe to get new lore, or maybe to get some new steam going behind the Hearthkin and the new squats, that maybe add a little bit of chaos to them.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I think Necron or Chaos Necrons would be badass. We have the Flare virus, and if they can somehow twist that into Nurgle and making like truly undead robots, that would be interesting.
Yeah, which I don't know how they would work, because like doesn't chaos kind of go for like the soul and stuff like that?
Yeah, but I think if they could somehow corrupt
Vastor.
Yeah, like if Vastor can corrupt lords, and then the command protocol becomes
corrupted.
Yeah.
Which cool. It's possible, because there are like the Obliterator virus, which is almost like a not a virus in the sense of like a pathological thing, but a virus in like machines and stuff like that, because that could spread and that could corrupt the Necrons. So there's ways around it.
Yeah, there's malware.
There you go. Trojans.
And the last question, what do you have?
Isaac Chan 767. So we know that humans have the hots for some sexy elves, some blue skin booty towel. But do we know of any Xenos that have the hots for some sexy Mon-K humans?
Yeah, I think that like Dark Eldar definitely have like some type of sexual desires with humanity.
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know if I read this somewhere or maybe it was fan fiction, but I heard that like humans are the best species to torture because they give out the more, they have more emotion, more fear, more pain than any other Xeno race out there.
Yeah. I don't know of any specific like lore bits of well, actually, yeah, because like there used to be in the old Space Marine Codex a story of an Eldar mating with a Ultramarine, and it gave birth to like one of the strongest librarians. Obviously that's retcon and that's not a thing, but that woman coveted the Space Marine so much so that she got pregnant by him.
So that answers the questions. Do Space Marines have penises? Yes. And balls. And semen.
That was retcon. You don't know how Eldar are reproduced, though.
True.
They come from slugs. They might not even have what we have.
That's right.
And what Space Marines don't have. Balls!
That's right.
And those are the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos on this channel, the reviews of all the books that we read, and just nonsense.
That's right. So keep those questions coming, and so will we, just like that Ultramarine. So again, guys, like, comment, subscribe. This has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first, and then